Hello, welcome back guys on my channel. I hope that you guys are doing fine. So HSR finally did their live stream few days ago, and that live stream was a 3rd anniversary patch live stream. And in that live stream, they just provided lots of information that what kind of rewards, what kind of character they are going to add it into the Golden Spirit shop, and also what kind of character, new character, and also rerun character they are going to bring back into that patch. I already make a separate video on it. You can even check it out on my channel. Now that's not the main thing. The main thing is that today's my video topic is going to be the Golden Spirit shop and which character you should be picking for by the currency that the game is going to provide you into the version 4.2. Now, before talking anything further, let me give you a brief history about what is the Golden Spirit shop. Now, Golden Spirit shop was released back in 2025 when the 2nd anniversary was happening into the HSR, while the Custodes was released at the same time. When the Golden Spirit shop was released, there were just added 2 new limited characters, which was the Luocha and also Ruan, and also providing us a one Golden Spirit currency where you can even have an option that where whatever character you can even choose from that Golden currency shop. It could be like a standard character, it could be like limited character. Yes, I forgot to mention that Golden Spirit shop consists of a limited character and also the standard character. Standard character are not going to be added after next because that's the main thing. They are not even making any of the standard character, but the limited character are going to be added into this game because they are already leveled in there, which is a Stay Tuned, where they also provided another new character after those 2 limited characters, which is the Topaz in 3.7 patches. Also provided another Golden Spirit currency where you can even have options of getting another limited character from that shop. So that's the main thing. They're also going to provide into the version 4.2, which is very much of a good thing. If you haven't even used one of your like a 2 Golden Spirit point, then your accumulated number of Golden Spirit currency is going to be the number 3. You can even save up to number 6 or whatever the number is, because we don't even know that how much of a Golden Spirit currency they are going to provide into the future patches. So if you have those like a Golden Spirit currency in a 6 points, then you can even make any of those limited character or standard character or any of your favorite character into E6 and just make those character into viable into the respective meta. That's the main thing of a Golden Spirit, which I already make a brief description, which will be very much of a easy to understand for you. So let's start the video. And in this video I already make a types of segments that which character you should be picking for and which character you should not, because in that timeline the character that they are provided into this shop, not all of them are totally top priority, but the priorities are going to be the S tier, the low priority going to be the A tier, and also third is going to be the B tier, which is totally going to be avoided at any cost. And in here I already make a 2 segment. First one is a limited and also a standard. At first I'm going to talk about the limited segment, that which limited character you should be picking first if you really want to pick first, especially if you are a new player. Any of those limited character could be very much of a helpful, but not all of them. You have to remember that. That's why this video is making right now. So without further ado, let's see. So our first list of the limited segment, which is going to be the Topaz. Yes, for the Topaz case, I would suggest you should be avoid her at all cost. Why am I saying this? Because Topaz is a specialist of a follow-up character. She only buffs the follow-up character, and also her follow-up is a very much of inconsistent. If I just give you a good example of that, what kind of other follow-up character is very much of a good one, then Ashvin is the very much of another good character to have for your follow-up team. Other than that, Topaz is not going to be very much of a good one. When Topaz was released, people consider her as a most of the underrated character because her kit was making her a increasing of a follow-up character, which is only be viable if your Topaz is going to be added into the follow-up team. That's the main thing. Other than outside of a follow-up team, she does not do any kind of jack shit. That's why for this kind of case, she does not hold any kind of follow-up, and follow-up meta is not even have any kind of place into this current meta. So that's the main thing. For our next list, which is going to be the Ruan. Yeah man, Ruan for a choice, I would like to give her choice of a S tier. Yes, she is still viable to this day. Why am I saying this? Because yes, she is a specialist in a break character, but in every scenario of a case, if your character is a very much of a respected to your boss element, then one or another way the boss toughness bar will be broken at any time into the battle. So when the boss's toughness bar is going to be the broken, that broken toughness is going to deal extra damage, which damage can be applicable for the Ruan. Ruan does not only just provide you that kind of things, Ruan also provided you some kind of like a interruption action advance to your enemies, or you can say the bosses. That's the main thing, because when she just gives a introduction resistance, when she uses her ultimate, she just deploy one kind of flower things to your all of the enemies into the field, and these types of flower are going to be really interruption resistant towards your enemy section, which is really actually helpful for your characters to move up and also have more turn compared to your enemies one. That's the main thing. And also after using her on any team, you can even make a sustainless team, especially if I just give you a recent example or recent meta teams, which is going to be the Firefly sustainless teams, where Firefly is the one who can even have her own sustain things, and also with the help of Ruan of action interruption towards your enemies, that team is actually perfect without any kind of sustain character. That's how she is powerful. And also her ultimate going to give you a whole team member certain turns with a good amount of speed, and also giving a 20% rest span, which is actually very much a good one. Sorry, my bad, it was like a 24. I just totally forgot on her skill, but at least it was only for 2 turns. That's the main thing. That's how she's just totally a universal support that you can even afford currently from this shop. So that's totally all about the Ruan. Let's move on to our Luocha onto the limited list. And for a Luocha, guys, I would suggest you to not even pull for her, but if you really want to have like a sustain character, then I guess Luocha is very much of a good one. Why am I saying this? Because if you just log into this game or a regular player, new player, then you can even have a one sustain character, which is going to be the Imbibitor Lunar free version of a preservation. If you have him, then I guess you don't even need any kind of like a healer character and also any other sustain character. That's how much of a powerful it is. And also there is another free 4-star sustain character which is still viable to this day, not even that of a good much, because the enemies are dealing way too much damage to your character. So that sustain character, 4-star character, does not even hold any kind of candle against those enemies. But if you are lacking of a sustain option, that could be a very much alternate one, and he is none other than our Gallagher or Gallagher. Any name you can even just ask him. That's the main thing, that you have to manage your account by through your what kind of things that you are going to prioritize in here or not. So let's move on to our another character, which is going to be the another sustain character, is going to be the Huohuo. Yes, for a Huohuo case, I'm going to be biased. She is also going to be the STRP. Why am I saying this? Huohuo is also a sustain character, but she is considered a pseudo sustain. What the pseudo sustain means, because her healing is not even that of a good one, but after like a Nova Flare buff, which is they're going to provide it into the version 4.2, where a certain character gets like a buff on her kits and also getting like a total remake of her kits, but not that of a much. So for a Huohuo case, she does not even get that much of a Nova Flare buff, but the thing that she provided to your whole teammate, which is a 20% energy, 30% attack, and also good amount of cleanse, and also with a good amount of healing. The healing is not going to be the very much of a good one that you are going to get from her, just like a sustain character, other sustain character, especially the Luocha and also the Hasin. You already know who I'm trying to say here. So if you really want to get a pseudo sustain who can even give you a high amount of attack and also higher amount of energy things, Huohuo is going to be the no-brainer best options that you can even pick right now. Especially the Nova Flare buff make the Huohuo a much more good thing, and also she can also going to give you a higher amount of energy provided to your DPS character. If your DPS does not even follow the archetype of an Archon or like anniversary types of character, where they really required extra types of mechanics to deploy their ultimate or like fill up their ultimate, just like the Silver Roof, Chiron, Castoris, Phaenon, so on. That's the thing that you have to remember, that if you have a energy based scaling character, then I guess Huohuo is going to be the best pickup that you could even ask for into this game. So on our next list is going to be the Robin. Okay, for a Robin case, I would suggest you pick for her, but not even that, because she is also suffering from the same issue just like the Topaz one, where she can only be very buff, or you can say the provide the buff is very much of a gated towards your follow-up character. But why she was very considered as one of the top character in the Harmony section, and also better than the Ruan when she was released, because of a 100 action advance. You already know that how much of powerful things, because we already have a small glimpse of a Lightcon option in our game's storage, which is the dance. If you just somehow slap this dance into a character of a TB, where any of the character of your team deploy ultimate, TB will provide you a follow-up, and that follow-up also generate her own personal ultimate. When the personal ultimate is going to be deployed, your whole member is going to be action forwarding to 25% if your dance is the S5. So that must how much of a consistent that TB was providing after release of a Ruan Mei, so after release of a Robin, that much how much of a things that TB was provided into her. Not only that action advance, but also providing like a rest pad and also vulnerability buff. But what the Robin was doing when she was released, she was totally provide you 100% action advance. If you're just somehow lacking of 1 or 2 turns to make the characters to deal the damage and also clear the content of an end game, she just totally came in a clutch and also clear your end game content without any kind of problem. Besides than that, the follow-up damage is totally gated to what, but she also provided key damage buff and also attack buff at the same time. That's how she was much of a powerful, and also her U1 considered as one of those like a broken things, but she is not even that of a broken much. What her U1 does give you, which is a 24% rest span, and that rest span duration could be considered as a always 100% uptime. Why? Because when she was in ultimate stage, she totally makes herself a vulnerable and she doesn't even get hit that much. But if your enemy is just one of like a AoE character, obviously she is going to be get hit one of those types of situation. But obviously most of the case, if you have a Lightcon of her, not even Lightcon is going to be the very much of a good one, because after like another version they just provided you a one of those like a spear or one of those like artifact where you can even have a good amount of energy, so the energy was balanced between her, so you don't even need her LC to work optimally. But if you just somehow use her optimally, then I guess she can always maintain her ultimate uptime, and you can even just proc her U1 buff all the time without any kind of problem. So that was how much of a powerful. But after release she just totally goes into the oblivion and she just moves toward tier 0 to tier 1. That's the whole segment of the limited character. I guess I just make you a small brief discussion, not even like a broadly that which character should be picking for in a complex way and which character you should not. Let's move on to a standard one. For a standard one case, I don't think so any of those characters are hold any kind of value to this current meta. Expect one character, which is going to be the Bronya. Yes, if you just somehow one of those new player who really don't even get a Bronya from the standard wishes and also beginner wishes, then I guess picking her from that situation is also going to be the good one. But that is not going to be the must one, because she's a standard character you can even get anyhow from your 50 loss from your any banners. So for that reason, I won't even say that pull for her. But if you just happen to have all of those characters on your account, don't even have Bronya to this day, then I guess she's also going to be the good one. Why she is? Because her one thing she does better than other is when she just move a certain character with 100% action advance, she also move that character, remove the CC and also remove the debuff of that character. That's how much of a she powerful it is. And also, and when she was just like a use her basic attack, she just gives her a action advance and she also moves forward where she can even have a higher turn than other character, which is very much of a need one for a harmony character to provide a single character higher than ever much of a buff. But sorry, one thing I really missed in that part, which is the reroll dice. In that case, all I wanted to say is that if you are not well who have all the characters of this game, then I guess this is not going to be the very much of a good option. But if you really like a character and also want that character build a perfect one, I guess invest on a reroll dice. But this is going to be the very much of a least option that you are going to use that, and it is not going to be the fruitful one. So in my opinion, don't ever use it. Other than that, final closing statement, if you think that I don't want to waste any of those golden spirit point into those character, the character that they are providing currently right now, this is also a very much of a good option. At least make it up to 6 points whenever the game is going to give you the golden spirit point. But there is not like a similar pattern where you have to follow when they are going to provide you that. So you have to stay tuned with the game's news where when they are going to provide you golden coin with a free of use. So whenever just you have to happen to have a 6 points, then you can even just any of those limited character into a C6 or you can say the E6 and make those character viable into the respective meta and use it and get the fun while it lasts. That's the main thing. So I guess that's all for it. And if you like it, leave a like. And also if you have any kind of question regarding this one of my tier list, feel free to leave under the comment section, and see you on the next video. Peace.